Ladies and gentlemen, when Bach goes in all the way, something unique is about to happen. And you could ask, is that not always the case? Yes, partly that's the case indeed. But in this prelude in B flat minor, he goes into the depth of his soul to express, what to express, it's hard to say. Pain, desolation, the feeling of being deserted, like in a way, very romantic, I would say. These paintings of these desert landscapes, moonlit desert landscapes, that's a little bit the feeling I get when I play or listen to this unique prelude in B flat minor. And yet, it's so simple. There are so little elements Bach is using that it is almost hard to talk about it. To find something where we can put our finger and say like, this is what happens. This is why this piece is so unique. And yet, the aim of this series is to bring you that music a little closer so that you, quote unquote, understand it maybe a little better, or see the music from a different perspective, or connect the music, the things that you hear, to something else in order to enhance that feeling of understanding. In the end, music doesn't need any explanation, but sometimes it helps. I hope I can guide you through this prelude. That at least is what we aim for. So welcome to another episode of Beyond the Note. If I would summarize this piece with a few words, or with two terms actually, I would say it's harmonic dissonance. Bach exploits in this prelude, I would say, the edges of what harmonically was accepted in those days. Well, you can debate about that, and maybe it's an overstatement. But what is true that what you hear in this piece harmonically is extraordinary. And on the clavichord or the harpsichord, the long notes of course disappear. I will guide you through this piece and try to just arpeggiate these harmonies in order to make them harsher I would say, to make you feel them even more. And so let's start obviously from the beginning. And already right from the start, Bach doesn't lose time. Never. This is often the case with good composers. They just start and already from the first note you have the mood, you have the character, you have actually the expression, you have the story is already there. And in this first bars, bar 1 to 6 I would say, harmonically not so much is happening. Yeah, we are going to talk about the harmonic dissonances, but harmonically you have a B flat, and that stays there all like. And if you've listened to other videos, other Beyond the Notes on Bach's music that we've made here, oftentimes I'm talking about the dialogue. There is the bass listening to the upper voice or vice versa. Here I would say it's like a mysterious choir of like in a very mysterious environment, a little bit dark, foggy, you know, on a distance, and they're singing, they're bringing something together, they're creating the mood, the atmosphere, so to say. And it's a little bit scary, I would say, right from the start. And this ostinato, B flat and the bass, it creates this hunting atmosphere, like this very scary in a way. It could be film music, this. And harmonically, all dissonance. I mean, we have seen and listened and analyzed pieces of the same bundle here, or the WTC, like the E flat minor. There are some pretty, I would say, nasty dissonances, but on this level, there goes the bass, participating in actually the opening of the piece. And it's not really a dialogue. It's participating in this creation of atmosphere. And now the upper voice goes up, crying. I mean, this is incredible stuff, right? There we go, down. But the upper voice goes higher. This is a huge question mark. Also here, the E flat of course leads to B flat minor again, but I mean the E flat, like the last reverse mode, I would say, of the F major dominant 7 chord. It's typical Baroque, but here again Bach uses that on the right spot. It's so well timed. After this climax, this crack. The C, by the way, was the highest note of the instrument that Bach was writing for. Most probably a clavichord. Says the clavichord player, of course. And this E flat, this dominant 7 in the last reverse mode, is so strong. You know that we're going to a certain cadence, but how? The F stays. It's not just B flat minor. Bach doesn't give you this. But so let's listen to these first 6 bars, and if you play the piece, there is so much happening. I don't know in this case what's more enjoyable, listening to the music as it unfolds on this timeline of this composition. Like you have a meter, you have a bar structure, you play the piece, or just playing through the piece and standing still with all these chords that are just so expressive. And also, that's a final point before we're going to listen to the first fragment. This 16th note, this rhythm, ta ta tam tam ta ri tam. It has this longing, you know, this feeling of desire. This will remain the entire piece. Let's listen to this first fragment. From this point, we come to a second fragment, I would say, from bar 7-ish till 13. What we're going to do, harmonically, very simple, we're going from B flat minor and we just go to the dominant. And after this very tense opening, there comes something really remarkable. Bach gives the feeling that while he is actually using the same patterns and almost the same type of harmonic dissonances, there is some light here. There is some, I wouldn't say sunshine, but the mood, the emotion, the character of the piece goes a little bit more bright. And that doesn't remain like that, but it's like an air of refreshment. We really needed that as a listener. So here we are. We arrive at B flat minor, end of the last fragment, of the first fragment, and then listen to the difference. It's more friendly. This is a surprise. A flat major suddenly. Of course, we are not going to stand still in A flat major, but coming from like, sorry, and then yeah, there is a dissonance here, of course, but not so much. But then this is again a serious question mark, and remarkably, at the same moment where you hit that chord, you have again the B flat, an octave lower than the beginning. So the B flat is ostinato B flat. Dominant 7 again, with the B flat now, so C major 7 with the B flat and the bass. Very strong statement. We're going down, it's getting darker. And now, if I play it on the clavichord, you hear this. And I sometimes wonder, and I don't think anyone, we don't know really the answer to that question, like the difference. If you would hold these notes on an organ, or you would repeat those notes, or you would use a more arpeggiated way of playing, you get this. That's different. Compare this, like. This is again back to the beginning. Up, up, again, dominant 7. We're going to, like C major, dominant 7, we're going to F major, again a cadence. Sorry. So the second fragment repeats a lot of the elements of the opening, but it creates a little bit of air, like we can breathe a little bit more freely. And in this third fragment, there is something else that's going to happen, but that's for later. Let's first listen to this second fragment. And so the third fragment, as I said, there is something again that Bach is changing. And as I've said in the beginning, like Bach is using not many materials. Also there is so similar to Beethoven. All great composers, they only use few elements, and they create a composition that you, if you listen to it, you can hardly believe that the composer only used so few elements. The similar case is this. Always these 16th note, 8th note, 16th note. Harmonically, of course, a lot is happening. But here Bach is again these 8th notes, 16ths, but the atmosphere changes enormously. Listen, we arrive, that was the end of the last fragment, and then we get a dialogue. And it's a dialogue in a way where you can say, at least that's the way I feel this. Like you have a question and you have an answer. Like the mysterious monks, they disappeared. And now we see again persons. As if they were always there from the beginning. Oh, there is a dialogue. Oh, you have actually an interaction of question and answer. And this is an unbelievable, beautiful moment. Because after all the tension, Bach introduces his dialogue, but also he brings this more openness. Remember the second fragment, we had this passage where we went briefly to a kind of like flavor of A flat major. That allowed us to breathe a little bit more freely. Here, he gives even more space. We're going up also in the bass, so a lot of air is entering in the room now. Again, it's E flat minor, so it's not very, very nice, but still, like compared to the dissonances we had at the beginning, this is very civilized and also very controlled emotionally. And there we go, the bass now again starts to interfere. And there we go back. Tension building. Again the C. Beautiful B flat major chord. I mean, can you believe this? And again, I'm arpeggiating a lot of chords now to just make you feel the tension of these chords more, and the color and the beauty and the pain actually and the dissonance. And it's not this, but this is an incredible sign of hope. I mean, that's how I feel that music. And now this dissonant, almost, it's like, we can't tolerate that, it's bearable. This is almost like an echo of that pain and feeling of being deserted at the beginning. But we're going down. Again down. Low E flat. Dominant of B flat minor. And clearly we are going now to the end of the piece, and I would say this third fragment ends here. But what a journey! Like 7 bars. Can you just imagine that? From very, I wouldn't say a light touch, but in the light of what happened, those emotions that Bach displayed at the beginning, of course they are still close to us. And then you arrive here. And then again the start of this journey. The whole orchestra comes. Unbelievable. Let's listen to the third fragment, and then we will see how Bach brings this piece, how he brings us home again. So the last fragment ended with the low E flat as the 4th grade in B flat minor. It's very strong. And there we go. And now the F is in the bass. And everything that happens is on top of that until a moment in bar 22, and then we really go to the absolute climax of the piece. Like we arrive at a chord with 9 notes. That doesn't sound like much, but I don't know with you, but I have only 10 fingers. So let's see how Bach does that. So again, this F ostinato, like very, very, very similar to what the beginning had, like with the B flat. Now it's exactly the same. But what harmonically happens here, it's unbelievable. All anticipation, passing notes. And now. This is unbelievable. And then we go down and up. Very difficult chord on the clavichord. We have a fermata, huge question mark. So again, ostinato F. And now we're going home. And always so, you know it's going to happen, but not D flat, but and with a little coda. Also this chord for Bach in that time. It's not exceptional harmonically, but the timing again. And also Bach doesn't repeat the B flat. And now again, as I've said before, is it possible to repeat that B flat? Maybe yes, and the bass definitely. Like when the bass is too short, you just repeat the bass. That was a practice that was done. But I think Bach might have had an idea while not repeating that B flat in the sopran. Why? Because of the end. Ending now with a fifth, because the B flat, of course you don't hear it anymore. Not on the clavichord, on the harpsichord it would be disappeared again. Also the pianoforte, that in that time was not existent, like in the second book there was a pianoforte of Silbermann. I mean, it's possible that Bach even had that instrument partly in mind. But leaving out the B flat here gives this like it's such an open ending that in the light of everything that has been said, has been displayed, Bach's soul actually displayed, actually served to us. This F, and then especially after. I don't know with you, let me know in the comments, I'm really curious to read, but for me, I even think on my CD recording I did it like this, like with a little arpeggio. It's one of the most remarkable moments in music history that I know about. This is, you almost physically feel that your heart is opening up there. And listen, this is what makes music so unique. Let's first listen to how it sounds on the recording. Yeah, this is what makes music so unique. And if you then have a voice like Bach's, I mean, this is like, what aren't we blessed? I, yeah, I could go into a rant on the world today. We should listen more to this kind of music, and that should probably teach us the difference between important and less important things. And what is important in life? I don't know. I just know that going through this journey, a little bit, I mean, it's just 24 bars, and you feel afterwards a different person. Of course it's Bach. Of course we take it for granted. But this piece is like unseen. Let's be thankful to have that. By the way, the recording I used to demonstrate all the fragments is my own recording of the WTC. You can find a link in the description box if you would like to check it out. Very proud of this recording. I'm in the midst of preparation of recording the second book, so that's all ongoing. Guys, thank you for being here, for listening. I know I shouldn't end the video like that, because I should refer you to another Beyond the Notes in case you are interested in some other pieces that I analyzed, because that's good for the algorithm. But I want to say thank you for being here, because I really appreciate you guys watching these Beyond the Notes videos. I know that these Beyond the Notes videos do not get the most views. It's maybe not the most sexy content, but it's like content that I really like to produce, and so I appreciate all of you watching these, yeah, how do you want to call it, videos in which we go through these roller coasters of emotion, and not in a very analytical way, analyzing the chords and analyzing what happens here, and you could go into books like 18th century books describing all these ornaments and all these patterns and all these motifs and everything that Bach definitely knew. But what is it, what that music does to us? How does it, how do we experience that? And just sharing my experience of this music with you, I feel blessed being able to do that. So thank you. And thank you for watching. We see each other very soon again.